You're listening to DraftKings Network.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
So tomorrow, one of the Untold documentaries comes out on Netflix, the one on the 2008 Florida National Championship team. I was so excited when they announced that this documentary is coming out. That team is absolutely crazy. So when I watched the trailer, that changed entirely. This documentary is going to suck. I have zero faith in it. Urban Meyer is willingly in this documentary. No. He is like an interview in it. And the documentary I want on that team, Urban Meyer should not want to be a part of.
Well, that's the kind of feel that I got with the Johnny Manziel when I didn't watch it, because I was like, oh, this is just this guy's last act. He's just replaying everything that happened to him. And you look at him and you like listen to him in your guys' interview with him, and it's just like, has he really turned a corner? Has he done anything different? Or is he just trying to cash in on this last gasp of fame that he's probably going to have? And so I figured some of these might be a little, on the friendly side, if you will. And, as a Florida Gator, I don't really want to see a bunch of negative stuff about my team, but it's probably going to be there.
It's like, from what I've seen and from what the trailer showed, it seems like a piece more on like the football aspect of that team,
That's not interesting.
Which is not, close. It's literally not. There have been better teams since then. We like that team because so many players have been arrested at one point. There were murderers on that team.
We're interested in that team, I think, is
we don't there like was more than one?
No, we like it.
I think just one murderer.
Oh, okay.
But there was a lot of crime committed.
Tebow was killing it, though.
Yeah, Tebow. Obviously. It just seems like the whole appeal of the 2008 Florida team is just how wild they were. And I don't think we're going to get any of that, because why in the world would Urban Meyer ever be like, sure?
Do we think that the only bad info that we're going to get is just like, oh, and Aaron Hernandez killed somebody later? Like, is that all they're going to do diving into this? Because if that's the case, I don't want to know anything about this. So I want to know about all of the other arrests. I want to know all of the stuff that basically Tebow was the face, being the angel in front of all of this mayhem happening behind the scenes. And that's what I want. Why else would you do a documentary on this team?
Are you saying like they're going to actually talk about Aaron, or it's just going to be like a throwaway? Like, oh, by the way, Aaron Hernandez killed some people. And then they just
last part of it. No, last part of it, final 30 minutes. They're like, oh, and there was also controversy around these teams, as they spend, 30 minutes documenting Aaron Hernandez's murder that we already know about.
I saw one of the saddest episodes of Sesame Street yesterday, and I couldn't believe it. And I know you're wondering why we're here, because it's related to what you just said, and then we'll get
Aaron
back to
Hernandez?
it. Yeah. Okay, so this is what happened. It was an episode about bikes, and they were riding bikes, and they were going to the bike shop. And Luis was prominently featured, and he was singing about bikes, and he was teaching Bert and Ernie about bikes and training wheels and all this stuff. And he sang this whole song about bikes, and we were learning all these things, right? And then the episode ends, and they're like, oh, goodbye, see you next week, whatever, right? And then at the end it said, R.I.P. Luis. And I was like, what? He died? Like, the guy died after they filmed it, and they just, in passing, just put like, by the way, rest in peace, actor blah, 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 known as R. Luis. And then, like, we just go on to the next episode where we're like, sunny days. And I'm like, wait a minute.
You can't
Hold
teach
on a
children
second.
about that.
Izzy, Luis died.
I forgot, what am I supposed to say there?
Anyways, back to Aaron Hernandez.
Schottenheimer thing? I know, but I don't know if I was supposed to say something. I'm now down to number 6 on my list of hosts of guest hosts.
Well,
I'm curious to watch this Untold documentary series, but the nugget of Urban Meyer being involved makes me think it's going to be bad. But I think there's one thing that'll give away whether it'll be good or bad, and it's if they feature Huntley Johnson or not. It's not a name that you guys will probably know. He's an attorney who was a fixer for all their problems over there. And that's, as someone that knows more than I let on about what was going on in Gainesville at that time.
Wait, what do you know?
I know everything.
You'll tell us everything about everything else.
You're not one to know things and not tell everyone what you know.
Well, it's not my story.
What kinds of things did Percy
But you don't know
Harvin
the things
do?
that I don't say.
Make it your story.
But I will let you know that I do know.
Percy Harvin do, Mike? Because I've heard so many things about Percy Harvin, but I don't know what he did.
Well, we'll see if they cover that. No, one of my I have a couple of good friends that were involved in nightlife in Gainesville, and everything that was going on in that town was micromanaged, and everybody knew where everyone was, and if anyone ran into any issues, there was this gentleman, Huntley Johnson, who was a powerful attorney at the time, that would, be the plug.
Right.
So if they go, if
They call him HJ.
if they feature Huntley Johnson and they pull back the layers on what he meant to that program, because you'd say Urban Meyer, you'd say Tebow, and then you'd say Huntley Johnson.
Tebow's virginity.
In terms of important people that kept that unbelievable time in Florida Gators football history going.
Why doesn't Urban Meyer just own it all at this point? Right? Like, because there's one stop left that he has to make
All right,
in
I
the
cheated.
coaching job. Like, yeah, why doesn't he just own all of these things? Like, Urban, it's done. Like, you'll be on Fox and you'll get maybe like one more go at this, but like, just own it. People will like you probably more, which is the crazy part. Is like, if you just own how
Trump
crappy
method.
you've
Yeah.
been, people will be like, I kind of like this guy. That's kind of crazy.
Chris, they call him HJ.
Do they
Is
not?
that the most
he winked
difficult?
at me after he said
Is
it.
that the most difficult two-letter name to say comfortably? HJ? Nobody ever does an H, right?
I'll find a more difficult pair, but that is not easy to say.
And they can't cut to Chris right now because of the screen flashing behind him that's not working. So I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna get off of Chris right now.
I doubt that lawyer is going to be prominently featured. Doesn't seem like a lawyer thing to do, is out these things.
It's just disappointing that they wouldn't have that part in the doc, because I think that the tease of all of this, and I guess it goes back to the Johnny Manziel one too, is like you're going to get new info that you've never heard before about this controversy that you lived through, right?
It's nostalgia. That's what they're doing.
Yeah,
hey,
it's a
this was
nostalgia
cool.
play.
You liked this 10 years ago. We're going to talk about
Well,
it
right,
more.
but like for all the people when OJ Made in America came out, right? Like there were all these people initially who were like, I lived through it. I don't need to see it. And then it was such a well-made documentary with so many incredible stories told that we learned a lot, and everybody who had even lived through it wanted to watch it. For me, I'm looking at these documentaries and I'm saying, well, if you don't provide me any new information, like, yeah, I get the nostalgia play, but it's not as great as it could have been.
well, no, it'd be like OJ Made in America, but we're not going to talk about that thing.
Right.
Let's just talk about football.
Right, that's
Even
my
with
point.
the Inside the U, there were some controversies in there, 1 and 2. I mean, you've got the only one I can think of right now is Greg Olson's third leg, but you've got all these controversies and stuff, and they're like sort of wove it into a football story. I can't be okay with this just being a football story,
Right?
And then being like, oh, by the way, because the by the ways are super prominent players. They're not some backup offensive lineman who killed somebody.
41 players on that team were arrested at one point.
They all had Huntley Johnson's number. They all did. And
Better call HJ. Rolls
for
off
everything
the tongue.
for everything that you heard of in terms of arrests, there's plenty that you probably didn't, because
But
there
you know
was-
them and you refuse to tell us.
Yeah, he won't tell us.
It's not my place, and also
Unless it comes out.
I'm not gonna potentially slander an attorney. I imagine they'd be litigious, so I'm not gonna do that. But I do know that Huntley Johnson provided lots of legal advice to that program, and it's your typical small town thing when it comes to a big football program. Would it shock you if players got pulled over and they got sent home by the police? No, this
No,
happens.
but every school has an HJ.
Yeah, so like that, but magnified.
How did
Because
this
there were
work?
some really bad dudes on this team, some really great football players, but some bad dudes. It's not like you talk to the right people there. The Aaron Hernandez thing didn't surprise a lot of folks. So I really want them to get if Urban Meyer is attached to it, that means to a large degree this thing is authorized.
Yes.
What I want is the unauthorized version.
Exactly.
How did this work with AJ or HJ? Was this
Huntley?
just like a situation that's pro bono work, or like he's just like a fan, so he would take care of this, or was he like on retainer by the school? Like, who was paying old HJ?
Look, this is all hearsay, innuendo, and rumor. But the story is that the HJ would be the person that you'd go to and lean on if you needed legal advice, like any attorney, and if you needed some life advice, like HJ was there for you. He was a very influential figure in terms of keeping that thing going. It was Urban, Tebow, and
HJ stands for hand job.
Oh, boy.
There it is.
That's what the pro boner work was. Look,
Sounds-
these guys are doing jokes in
stands
my
for
ear,
Huntley Johnson.
and like Chris earlier said, if it's untold, once you see it, is it now told? They're all great,
Told
but I don't
story.
really have an avenue to slide in there with the jokes. And you were giving me the HJ jokes, and I was like, oh, hand job. That's the pro boner. Sorry to interrupt, Michael.
It's the same debate that we've had about documentaries for a while now, when there's so many platforms and such a need for content that the only way to get somebody involved in the actual documentary is to tell like a glowing version of that history. Alanis Morris's Music Box thing on HBO is probably one of these examples. And I would just really like cooperation, but an unauthorized version, which is why maybe I gravitated towards the ESPN version of the American Gladiators story.
I disagree with you so hard on that, and I work for ESPN.
Yeah, you thought the Netflix one was better? You're entitled to your opinion.
I didn't think either one were great, but I thought the Netflix one was slightly better.
You're entitled to your opinion. Yeah, Samson saw both, and Samson said, I can't believe that someone would come away with the take that the Netflix one is better.
Oh, then I'm
than
definitely
the ESPN
right.
one.
It's impossible to criticize a documentary without sounding pretentious. Dan does this move a lot. I didn't like that one enough. I don't know. Just watch the documentary and just take the information and I don't need your opinion on the documentary.
I think today you used to be able to take a documentary for face value. Maybe we should have been a lot more discerning back then, but now with so many media entities available to tell your story the way that you want it told, I think it's on the person that consumes these things to be super judicious and take everything with a grain of salt, because everyone's got a version of themselves they want projected, and it's not necessarily always going to be the truth.
Speaking of which, Chris Cody doesn't like when certain images of him are projected, including the most recent "I'm walking here," which is
I'm good with that one, as long as the damn X thing I did with Mike just disappears forever.
That one's worse. But if I can do the Dan thing and ask the video team for a favor here, if we can get Mike Ryan's face when Chris Cody sang Alanis Morissette, which Mike Ryan called Alanis Morris earlier. We called Alanis Morissette.
No, I said Morissette, but I was drowned out by "It's Like Rain."
My mic was off, though. It was background.
Give me Mike's face, because from what I hear, Mike just get angry at a few people here. But based on that face, he's never been angrier than anybody else.
I gotta say, this show is a little messy today.
Lionel Messi?
Is it because nobody gave me any direction? Is that why? Is it because I came in here and everybody's just kind of hanging around, and then I go to makeup and I come out of makeup and then the meeting's over? And then I sit here with all these buttons in front of me on this list, and Billy's sitting next to me, and it's just like, hey, somebody count down and let's start. What kind of direction are we doing over here?
Is this your We'll Do It Live?
Yes, this is my We'll Do It Live. This is my I would like to discuss things more when we have a show.
Yeah.
It's like rain!
I would love to get a text from Dan with something that says, here's advice on the show.
Hey, it's Roy from the Dan Batard Show with Stugotz. U.S. Cellular knows how important your kids' relationship with technology is, and they've made it their mission to help them establish good digital habits early on. That's why they've partnered with Screen Sanity, a nonprofit dedicated to helping kids navigate the digital landscape. And for a smarter start to the school year, U.S. Cellular is offering a free basic phone on new eligible lines, providing an alternative to a smartphone for children. Start smarter with U.S. Cellular. Visit uscellular.com/builtforus to find out more. Terms apply.
Dan Batard.
If I'm at the house with them and they're all rooting, I could just be like, yeah, rah, rah, rah. Go Yankees.
Stugotz.
Do you know how unsettling it would be if I attended a live sporting event and someone behind me was just going, rah, 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 Browns, rah, Heat, rah, rah, rah.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz.
So there was a really fun thing that happened on Twitter earlier this morning that had me concerned about potential death and also cancel culture. So what ended up happening was Rip Hamilton was trending. Now, my immediate assumption when I saw Rip Hamilton was trending was to think, of course, of Richard Hamilton, the former Detroit Piston, which is what was trending. But there was a lot of confusion with Rip Hamilton trending because obviously RIP signifies something else. And on Twitter in particular, when you see RIP anybody, you get a little concerned that somebody has died. And so in turn, when I
see RIP someone, I know they've died. It's when I just see their name.
That's fair.
When
that's
it's just the name, that's when you get the Denzel Washington.
This is fair. But with Rip Hamilton trending, the reason Rip Hamilton was trending was because of two reasons. One, someone had photoshopped a red T-shirt that Rip Hamilton was wearing to say "Make America Great Again." Oh no! And people were quote tweeting that and asking what happened with Rip Hamilton.
Was he wearing a mask?
No.
Oh.
He wasn't. It's a good question.
It's ironic.
That's a good, yeah, that is ironic. Good question. And also, separately, at the same time, there was a top 5 mid-range jump shots list that was going viral on Twitter, and Rip Hamilton was not included, so in the replies and quote tweets of that, you had Rip Hamilton trending. But now, Rip Hamilton starts to trend, and there's all these people saying R.I.P. Hamilton, R.I.P. Hamilton, and they don't know what's going on. So now there's people tweeting wondering if Lewis Hamilton died, and there's people wondering if we're canceling the musical Hamilton for some sort of reason.
Which would be
because
the worst?
R.I.P. Hamilton, which would be worse for
For
me?
you personally, which would be the worst of those 3 scenarios?
Between Lewis Hamilton.
2 deaths or Hamilton going away, which would be the worst for you?
Oh man, Hamilton going away would be a big problem.
Jeremy, you know every word to Satisfied, or is it just me?
I know every word to
I
Satisfied.
knew it. I knew it.
I know every word to too many. I know The Room Where It Happened. There's too many songs in that musical that I know a lot of words to.
Is it worth watching at this point? Like,
Have you not seen it?
No, I haven't.
Let's go
it's
watch
worth
it together.
It's definitely
Please.
worth it.
No, not together. I'm not going anywhere with anyone. Like, if I'm watching it
No,
at
it's
home
legitimately
on Disney
good.
Plus,
Yeah, watch
like,
it on Disney Plus. It's great.
How long is it?
That night?
2.5 hours.
Ugh.
It's great. Put the captions on. That will help you. They speak pretty fast.
I watch everything with captions. I can't
So do
watch
I.
television
Me too.
without captions at this point.
I
Yeah.
did not like captions most of the time, and it's why there are certain apps, streaming apps, that really bother me because I don't understand how you can have a streaming service and not have great captions. Amazon Prime, great captions. Netflix, great captions. Certain other streaming services, not such
You're
great captions.
like me.
I
I'm
wish I-
never satisfied.
I wish I could change the font or the size. Like, if it was more like
Exactly.
made to me. I wish.
Customize it yourself.
Yeah.
I think it's Amazon is the one that has that option, which I really like. You can go a little bit bigger. You can leave it at the Netflix-sized option. But nonetheless, R.I.P. Hamilton was trending on Twitter this morning, and it caused a major ruckus amongst people who just no one who was tweeting about it seemed to know why they were tweeting about it, and I thought that was great.
Isn't that ironic?
Don't you think?
That was a layup for Chris.
Oh my God!
I'm looking at
Whole
lyrics.
time.
Right there,
That was
Lucy
just
even
caught
gave him an
You're
extra
looking for
second
Hamilton
by
rather
giving
than a
him the
strike
don't you
three.
think?
We're a
and he
team here.
still
She got
didn't
me.
do
No,
it.
she filled the void because
We're
we were
good.
all just waiting for you.
I
Like,
was
what
waiting
is
for you.
happening here?
To the groom!
If I read the captions to a movie, is that equivalent to reading a book? Because like an audio book is the equivalent of reading a book
the
now, right?
bride.
So if I'm
Captions
just
are the worst.
Why?
Captions are the absolute
well,
worst.
because you live
Wait
in
till you
this
have
privilege.
kids.
Exactly, you live in this privileged life where you don't need it to be
No, don't
quiet
get me
around
wrong.
you.
When I do visit my sister's house and there's kids running amok, I do turn on the captions over there. But even then, when I can hear the sound, I hate it because I'm getting the captions first. Like I'm reading what they're saying before they actually say it. And then I double down in anger because if there's something I'm supposed to be looking at the top of the screen, I'm not because I'm reading the damn bottom of the screen. Why? I don't know. I speak English. I don't have to read it.
That's the worst when you're watching like competition shows or you're watching something like that because you'll see who gets eliminated like on one of the baking shows or whatever before they get eliminated.
worst.
Yeah, well, you know what I'll do? Like most people would just turn off the captions at that point. No, what I
Close
do,
my eyes.
I go like this and I block off half the screen with my hand so I only see the top of the screen where I can't see the captions.
You and I are simpatico, my friend. It is exactly
Worries
the
me.
same. Exactly the same. I'll
To the
block off the
union.
TV to the union. In the hope that we provide. The captions are really just the worst part of being spoiled on those shows, but I have to use them for any of the British shows because a lot of the time I can't understand the English that they're speaking without the
bros.
captions.
I'm just waiting for Chris. His one thing on Hamilton back in the day was Angelica, Eliza, and Peggy, and he still hasn't hit that. And
Isn't
I
that a
told
different
him,
song?
It's a different song, but it's from Hamilton.
Play the
R.I.P.
game, Izzy.
Hamilton. Come on.
Moving down the list.
Were you were never going to get there, man. So, Jeremy, did you get you wanted out of that topic?
Yeah, I feel like I was able to explain it pretty well. It seems like we got 5 or so minutes out of talking about it, which is pretty good.
So what was it? It was just there
No, it was
was
just
a
Rip
Photoshop
Hamilton was Rip Hamilton was trending for 2 different reasons.
Have
a
you
mid-range
heard
jump
from
shot
Rip
top
Hamilton
5
yet?
list. I haven't seen anything from Rip
So
Hamilton.
we don't know if he's dead or alive.
I guess we technically don't know whether or not Rip
Is Chris
Hamilton
dead or
is
alive?
alive.
Is Chris okay?
just seemingly fell off a chair in the back.
How is this going?
not great. If you're Rip Hamilton at this point in your career, you don't want to be trending, right? Like, I know that Chris is like very much like, oh, you know, it's always good. Any news is good news, but like I feel like trending is not.
Most
something-
celebrities start trending for the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
I feel like you
exactly,
don't
right.
want to be
If
trending,
you're
especially
successful-
post-career.
If you're successful and you made enough money or whatever, you're living like a good retired life. No, thank you. I'd like to never trend, never talk about me ever again.
There was a period a few years ago where Corbin Bleu, the old High School Musical actor, was trending because people were like, he's dead. And everyone
you're
said,
talking my
"Rip
language."
Corbin Blue." And then he was like, "I'm not dead. I don't know why you guys are all saying I'm dead." And it was like a big
That used to happen to Drake all the time. People would start rumors that Drake was dead like every 3 months on Twitter.
Didn't
gotta
that
make you
just
feel
happen
bad.
to a former NFL running back like this week? Wasn't it, what was the guy from New England?
Yeah, they. So there was a handicapper that went to Twitter with a leak from law enforcement, and
They got the wrong running back.
He pieced together that Sony Michel had passed away in an accident, and I guess he got the wrong local running back because it was Alex Collins who passed away.
If you're Sony Michel and somebody announces that you have died, don't you want to hit it a little harder than just fake news? That's it. He just hit fake news and just tweeted that out.
I appreciate him giving the update.
It's true. I would like a little bit more
was
detail.
scared.
Fake news, I'm not going to lie. When I saw it fake news, I was like, well, is it? Because I don't believe when people say fake news that it is
Well, now
fake
nobody's
news.
verified on Twitter who needs to be verified,
Right.
so I don't even know what account is what. It makes it very complicated when things like this happen.
Speaking of social media, then, we have Plain Lady, who all of a sudden is back and making a thing. And people who don't know who Plain Lady is they're not real, or that dude's not real lady, right, Lucy?
Yeah, the lady who just yelled on the plane, "They're not real," was a menace to society for a little bit. And she has managed to just take that and turn it into a career.
She have a podcast now?
She released an apology a few days ago where her makeup was done. It was very professional. She talked about second chances. And now she's tweeted out a very nice photo of herself with "Stay tuned." She is starting an influencer career. She's going to be a public speaker. She's going to make so much money off of this.
Hashtag
She's
wait to
gotta-
see.
Just
she's
your
gotta-
standard sitting in the kitchen photo.
Right, just sitting on the floor in the kitchen with jeans. Like I was on jeans and shirtless on a train tracks, and that makes more sense.
Oh,
than
there's a
this.
camera here.
But she says in the tweet, "One moment doesn't define you, but it can define your purpose." And what is her purpose then? To identify
Monetize.
AI on
Hashtag
airlines?
stay tuned. Hashtag stay tuned. Also, you can tell she's new to the internet because she had her feet in the photo. Just right there.
For free?
First photo.
You're so cool, Jeremy.
Not prepared.
How do we feel about her kitchen?
That's a
I don't
nice
like it.
backsplash.
I don't love the
Backsplash.
backsplash.
A little look at me.
I don't
It's just
love
what
it.
a weird place to sit.
I don't like it.
I love the backsplash. I'm a backsplash guy. Like the backsplash in my kitchen is very much the definition of my entire kitchen.
Nah,
But
I've
that's
seen
very hard
yours.
to look
It's
at.
not as look at me as that
Wow,
one.
get the hell out of here.
Oh, wow, you want it to be look at
I
you?
do, I do.
Oh, sorry.
What does your
So look at me.
backsplash look like?
What is what?
Tell me
Your
what to say.
backsplash look like?
It's got wavy.
Do you still have that
thing, and it's got,
curved TV
reflections.
that you used to have?
Why is everybody always bring up my curved TV? Like I got scammed or something. It's a perfectly good TV. I love it.
Now
I'm
I
in
can
the
see it
kitchen,
from his dining
slightly
room.
curved. I can see what's going on. Kind of, sort of.
So you do still have it.
I do still have it. It's my primary TV.
you
What's
ever
your beef with the
I'm
curved
just
TV?
I'm just asking because look. There's a curved TV right here, which I didn't know that there were still curved TVs. They've only two I've ever seen is right here and in your house.
Every time you bring it up, which has been multiple times for some reason,
'Cause it's
somebody on
intriguing.
Twitter just says, "Oh, Izzy got caught with the
Fad.
curved TV and the phony curved TV." I was like, "What do you mean? There's nothing wrong with this TV. It's been perfect for 6-7 years."
Do you ever
I've had it."
stand in the kitchen and look at 1/8 of your TV and be like, "This is why"?
Well, when I got the stand where you can just take it out and pivot the entire TV,
Kinda
I
defeats
kinda
the
felt like
purpose.
I
It
didn't
defeats
really
the
need the
purpose.
curvature anymore. But Billy's talking about my TV every time, so
I'm just curious.
He remembers the curvature.
Yeah, it's
a little to the left.
Anyway.
I'm about to wallpaper my apartment. I'm getting excited. I'm picking out my colors this week.
Wallpaper is very dangerous in South
Peel and
Florida.
stick.
It's very dangerous. Didn't you do it to a window?
Yeah.
How
my
did that
little
go?
film. Oh, it looks awesome. It
Yeah?
looks so good.
That was to
and I have
block
privacy.
people from being able to see in, right?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the move on that thing.
And when the sun hits it, it makes my apartment like a rainbow. It's really cool.
What does the wallpaper look like?
I haven't picked it out yet. I'm looking at this pink and orange, groovy, sort of 70s line. And then I think I might that'll be the accent wall, and I think I'll do matching colors on the other.
But none of us are ever going to see it because we're not invited to go watch football with you on Saturdays.
You're welcome not on a college football Saturday. Like I said, college football Friday. Illinois, Indiana, my apartment will have a great time.
I'm not a fan of college football Fridays.
Why not?
Me neither.
It's too much. It's the same thing with Thursday night football with the NFL. It's like, give me a break. I need football 1 to 2 days a week. That's it.
No, it's nice on a Friday night. You go out to dinner. It's on at you're not even watching it, but it's just there.
College-
It's nice to see it there.
Conference USA has a bunch of Wednesday games this year.
Oh, yeah. Wednesday night action?
So if it's just there and you're not watching it, why couldn't it just be a replay of another game from last year? Because these other, I mean, I've been in bars all the time where they're just playing old games and this and this and that. And it's like, do people really like this? Are they watching this replay of this 1992 Georgia, Kentucky game?
A classic.
What happened in it?
Just a lot of tackling and big plays, big couple turnovers.
Big plays.
Yeah.
Couple turnovers.
Some BGs, BPs.
Big plays,
HJ?
BPs. Yeah.
HJ.
Yeah.
Hand job.
No.
Curved penis.
No. We're talking about televisions. This is no.
So Chris wanted me to explain the curved penis joke after I told the curved penis joke because there's only two things that Chris Cody can think about. It's sex and food.
Huh.
Sometimes at the same time.
Sued.
Angelica, Eliza, and Peggy.
If you would have waited 7 seconds to do that, would have been so much better.
Stugotz here for my friends over at Simply Safe. The average break-in lasts 8 to 10 minutes, so fast response is crucial. That's why Simply Safe Home Security launched its breakthrough technology, 24/7 live guard protection, to help stop crime in real time. Now, Simply Safe professional monitoring agents can actually see, speak to, and deter intruders in your home through the new Smart Alarm wireless indoor camera. What amazing peace of mind. I have been a customer of Simply Safe for years now, and I am telling you, their home alarm systems are the best in the world. Simply Safe's advanced motion detection and vision AI can sense the difference between potential intruders and pets to reduce false alarms. And right now, the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz, our listeners get a special 20% off any Simply Safe system when you sign up for Fast Protect monitoring. This special offer is for a limited time, so visit simplysafe.com/DLB. That's simplysafe.com/DLB. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
NFL Sunday Ticket is now on YouTube and YouTube TV, which means that it just got easier to be an NFL fan, even if you live far away. Like maybe you like the Bears, but you're hibernating in Panthers territory. But with NFL Sunday Ticket, your out-of-market team is never more than a short distance away. Specifically, the distance from you to your remote control. NFL Sunday Ticket, now on YouTube and YouTube TV. Go to youtube.com/presale to get $50 off.
Terms and embargoes apply. Offer ends 9/19. No refund. Subscription auto renews.
Dan Le Batard.
Just, you can't talk about double-digit national titles when every single call of you winning the national title sounds like this. Oh, there's Chubby Checker running down the sideline. if the audio, yeah,
That's not true.
Yeah, and there's a World War II veteran pitching into another white guy, and he avoids another white guy. Oh my God, Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish have done it again for the 8th time, only playing white people.
Stugotz.
Chubby Checker.
Sorry.
He's black.
He's black, and I was really going, what's a white named Chubby Checker? I picked a black. I'm sorry, man. I'm improv here. It's a pretty cool riff.
Checker running down the side.
He spells it differently, all right? His name is Chubby. Maybe you didn't hear me correctly. His name is Chubby Checkers. There's an S at the end.
I feel like that should be the largest of five.
Yeah, Chubby. Yeah, it's Chubby Checker. It sounds like a college football name.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Now, I don't want to criticize Dan while I'm here. I don't want to talk about sort of double standards that he has, at least not a lot. But I'm going to do that here because one of the things that Dan gets a little angry about sometimes is, I don't know if it's real or if it's fake, but when you guys do too much bathroom talk, too much potty talk, he says, we got to be younger and smarter than potty talk, right?
PT.
Why is it that in my memory, one of Dan's most memorable takes was potty talk? He told the entire planet that there are people who stand while they wipe and some people who sit while they wipe. And that went on forever. You guys had interviewers, you guys have subjects come in for interviews, and he would ask them that same question, do you stand or do you sit? So this double standard to me is wild. It's wild and unfair, even though I sometimes get crazy uncomfortable when Amin and Chris are talking a little bit too specific, all right?
So do you want to talk about that and you feel like
I didn't
you
want to
can't?
talk about that, but I did want to talk about the bathroom topic that is just the bane of my existence.
Dan also famously told the story when he won some award. He had a box full of trophies and he pooped in his yard. So.
That's right. That's another.
Well,
one of the
someone's
most
yard,
famous
right?
stories.
Was it
No,
his
it was
yard?
his.
It was his
Couldn't
yard.
get in,
Okay.
and the
His
neighbors
yard.
were looking. Yeah, it was his.
I don't know what the awards had to
Be
do
way
with that
worse.
story. Looking
It
back,
was,
but
yeah.
And like 5 plaques in his arms.
He also
That's
didn't
what
he,
it was.
He's a
didn't
writer.
Poop in a parking garage once too.
Yep, there too.
Oh, I don't know.
So there's
Why
just
did he do
poop
that?
all
He
around
blamed it on
Batard.
white wine.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
It went right through him.
Yeah, right through you.
What?
White wine. I've never heard of that before.
Is that a thing? White wine goes
White wine's
through
a
you?
thing.
Definitely is a thing.
Yeah.
In a bottle.
Red
Yeah.
wine too.
Yeah.
Red's better.
Yeah, it is.
Anyways, you want to talk about poop?
No, I actually wanted to talk about the other side. Lucy was telling a story earlier about, I don't even remember.
A poop story?
Something about urine going back up. I don't really understand
She had
exactly
surgery,
what was
man.
happening there.
Be
Maybe more
I'm a
sensitive to this.
survivor.
Yeah.
There you go. But the one thing in my life that I've experienced, that the power of the mind over body, right? The power of the mind is so strong that even if you have to go to the bathroom so damn badly, it will not let you. I am one of those people who has a shy bladder. I had no idea where this came from. I have no idea this concept. It's not like I walked into the bathroom one day and be like, whoa, everybody's looking at me. What do I do? Like, it was just randomly peeing next to somebody, nothing's happening. And I'm like, I really got to go. Why is nothing happening? And I'm like, I'm just in my own head the entire time. And then I leave. And I'm like, I didn't go to the bathroom because there was other people there.
Next time, call me and I'll go on the phone and go, psst.
None of those things work. When I tell you I have been at a club late at night, and like I'll stay in line for the bathroom. I'll get in that restroom and I'll be like, I don't know if this is gonna work. And I'll just get in the urinal, and if there's people too close to me, I'm just gonna have to stand there for long enough until I pretend like it's over, and then I'm out. I am in severe pain. Everything about me is saying, get this poison out of you. And my body's like, nope, there's people around. Why?
You ever go to the urinal in like the corner so you can go a little
Strictly,
shoulder?
usually.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm usually the person
Shoulder
who'll go
away
with-
from everybody?
The thing, well,
I don't care if people look.
Well,
Hell
that's
yeah,
the thing
Billy.
is, I don't care if people look. I
Billy
don't
stands
care,
4 feet away from it.
I
No,
don't
I
care,
mean, not
and it's
that,
not like, whatever. I don't care if people look, and this is a whole other side, I think, of mine. Like, nobody should care what soft wieners look like. I'm just going to say, put it on the poll. Does anybody care what a soft wiener looks like? Useless. Doesn't matter. And, whatever.
So you never peed? It could be a prostate thing. Are you okay?
No, I'm telling you. There was one time at this same time at a club in Fort Lauderdale, back when Fort Lauderdale used to be a thing. I went to the bathroom.
Still exists.
But the club scene sucks. I went outside, and I ended up finding a tree somewhere. And then, in this particular instance, I had not been stamped to come in. I paid more money to come back in just so I could leave and use the restroom. And to me, it is I'm going to die not understanding why the hell I can't urinate around other people.
Ever?
I don't know about ever, because I can if my partner's around or whatever. But yeah, no,
Have you tried singing songs?
I have not tried singing
Pledge of
songs.
Allegiance.
Not tried singing songs. I do think that part of it, like when it's silent, get the hell out of here. There's no chance, because then you've got there's somebody close and they can hear if I'm going or not, and it's just a matter. I have no idea what it is, but if you can hear me, even if you're far away, if there's like a sound situation. Nope.
Do you ever run sink water or something to try to block out, going back to white noise from earlier, create some white noise around you to sort of trick your brain into thinking you're totally alone. There's nobody nearby. You can trick yourself.
So you got me in a public restroom, usually with an attendant there, just flicking on all the waters and being like, just give me a second. It's part
exactly.
Of my process.
That's exactly what I'm asking you to do.
One.
You could also, maybe you turn on white noise for yourself. Get some AirPods, turn on some white noise and cancel out, just so that your brain maybe tricks yourself into thinking, yes, I'm alone right now. There's nobody around me.
I think, and this is a compliment perhaps to my brain, that it's just more powerful than that.
Too smart for that. Can't trip yourself.
There was one time at 11 where I went to the restroom, didn't use it, came back out to the front of the line and told the guy, give me a second, I gotta go again. And then just went to another, and then this second time, woohoo, stall opened up and I went in the stall. And it's just, and I've said this to myself since I was a child. I was like, this mind over matter thing. There's no way the brain can't be. Man, I'm telling you, it owns my urinary
But this
flow.
works if you go into a stall no matter what, even if there are folks around, or is it more of if there are folks around generally, even if they can't see what's going on right now,
If there are folks around and I'm in a stall, they can't see my face. So it's I'll just stay there long enough until I'm ready, and then I just go. And it's I used to have a buddy who
Steve.
we used to have, whatever. We'll call him Chris. It's not you, Chris.
And now I'm starting to think the person's name is actually Steve. I don't know why we couldn't just call him Steve.
Yeah, avoiding Steve for some reason.
What did Steve do?
It's not my favorite name. So we used to literally report to each other. We would report to each other if one went to the bathroom and they're like, how's it looking? And I'm like,
So
it's
this
a
is just the
one-man
poop chat.
operation.
You want in our
But
shit chat?
I do not want in the shit chat.
We can
I
start
do
a pee
not.
chat.
No, I don't. I mean, because I pee comfortably. It's fine. It's not. It's just when I'm in public and I don't understand it. The thing about the pooping and wiping thing that Dan has forever ruined in my life is I had this discussion with my partner. I was like, oh, he told the story and it was like a standing and sitting. And he was
that
like,
how you said it?
No, shut up. He's a sitting wiper. and the thing that I cannot do, I cannot wipe with him in the bathroom. I can't do it.
It's not that weird.
Can't
Why?
do it.
Yeah, that's
normal.
not a
I
normal.
know.
I've never
That's
wiped
not-
with anyone else
I
in the
know.
room before.
I
Anthony,
usually don't poop with people in the bathroom with me.
Completely open about doing all that shit. In front of me.
Really?
I tend to look. I'm like, can you just not? I'm talking to you right now, and then I turn away.
And he stands? Now I need the visual.
He gives me the thing. No, he's a sitter. He comes into, like, if he'll come into the bathroom, because we've got those sliding doors in the bathroom, so there's no real lock to it, right?
Like
It's
a barn door, yeah.
So he just walks into the bathroom while and then so I'm done, and I'm just like, I'm just waiting for you to leave. I can't finish this process until you leave the room. And he just gives me a hard time about it, and I'm just like, oh, yeah. I'm glad I know that it's not an abnormal thing.
Everything you're thinking, you're just going to say today, huh?
This is my life, is what I do. I always say
You
everything
take
I think.
issue with that, Billy, do you?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know how we've ended up here where we're talking about going to the bathroom. I have a question for you guys. I went to the bathroom the other day with an attendant, and I thought that I hit like the jackpot where there was the attendant leaving, and I was there, and it was like a shift change, and I was like, this is great. Because I only had a $10 bill on me, and I was like, this seems like a lot.
Can you break a 10?
I can never ask someone to break a bill for me. It's like a default that I have, or a defect
Really?
that I have, I guess. Yeah, no, I can't. So I went to the bathroom, and I think that it was like the end of the night, and they're like, hold on, there's one more. And then I had to give the guy a $10 bill, because I can't ask him for change. And I was in and out on the way home.
If I know I'm going to be there for a while, I'll just be like, this is for the rest of the night.
Yeah, but this was the only time I went, and it was like, gotta go to the potty real quick before we drive home.
I like to take a bunch. Like, if I leave there, this is for the night, I'll take a bunch of lollipops and just hand them out.
I like to take a
afterward,
bunch
I'm
of shits when I go out.
No, I never do. Public deuce, get out of here. I will tell you the story of when I thought I broke free. I was like, I've done it. I've peed with everybody looking.
Golf course?
No, boating. Okay. And so
Just jump in the water?
No, not quite.
By the props?
No. So
Careful.
it's a Boca Bash, which is this big, event, which is really just a bunch of people bring their boats to the sandbar, blah, blah, blah. And so we went to Boca Bash a couple years ago, and we are heading back, and I forgot last stop, which, by the way, you're just standing in 40% urine out there. Just so everybody knows.
Not sure that adds up, but
I forgot to go before we left, and we're going back, and you can't really go too fast, manatees and all that, and so we're going slow, and I'm just like, I'm dying, like I have to go. And Mike, what's the move?
I go into the water.
Jump into the water.
No, we're moving.
No,
We're
you hold on.
Oh, no, so you
Hold on to the side of the boat and be in the water.
So people
in the water.
So
okay.
like when the boat is kind of moving, it depends on how fast it goes. But I do know people like in my family. I'm envious of my in-laws because they just pee by
right
the props.
off the back of the boat, right?
And I could never.
Just stand off the back of the boat.
The whole
and pee, and
world
I'm
is
just
looking
like,
at my pee-pee.
I am looking, and I'm just like, this is going to be 45 minutes before we get home. I'm not jumping into the water, and so I'm like, you know what? This is the ultimate test. Like, I feel like my insides are about to explode. I'm going to stand up, and there's traffic. There's other boats coming back. It's a little wobbly, and so I'm like, screw it. I'm doing it. I start peeing off the back of the boat, and I'm like, I'm peeing. I'm doing it. And then I look up, and it's a damn cop. And they're looking right back at me. And he's just like, come on. And so the one time I'm finally in public and able to relieve myself properly, what happens? Worst nightmare, police staring right at me. Probably looked at it a little bit, but then staring right at me.
They're always looking.
A big bit, not a little bit.
They're always looking. Everyone's always trying to look at it.
That's my fear more than people looking, is that, like, is this a crime that I'm going to go to jail for?
Could have also
'Cause
been
I
a
shouldn't be
listener at
doing
15th Street Fisheries like, hey, look, it's Izzy.
Yeah, what if they then take a picture?
Well, here's the thing, is that so it wasn't so much me peeing that made him pull us over, is that Anthony was politely trying to turn us into a private finger or private canal or whatever. And it said in a tiny sign in the corner, private property, do not trespass. And so they were coming to pull us over for that. And I'm like 90% sure as dude got closer that he looked up and recognized me. And I'm telling you that that's the case.
I don't think anyone wants to see anyone pee ever.
I agree with that.
Like,
it takes my whole soft wiener take. It's just stupid. Nobody wants to see anybody.
I like your soft wiener take.
Thank you.
Some people are growers, not showers.
Exactly. I mean, you don't really know what you can do with it.
You
until
have
it's
no
actually,
idea.
The growers are the ones in the corner.
But yeah, so eventually the cop
If you show,
looked at me.
basically blood will swell in that area, but it'll remain generally the same size. If you're a shower, there's not much growing.
The one that gets me is like, how can you be a shower and not a grower? It's just like, anyway. And so he looks up and he just kind of like, he asked Anthony, what are you doing here? And he's just like, I'm sorry. And he literally said this. He goes, he never does this. He can't even pee in public. And I'm just like, why? Why would you share this information? But now here I am sharing it with everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were let go. No offense, no ticket, no nothing. I don't know if he knows what my wiener looks like, but he doesn't really know. Am I right, Mike?
I'm a grower.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Interesting.
But I'm not, like, embarrassed by it. Like, I'm also built for some show, but, you know, it is what it is.
I mean, listen, the only shows that matter does not include a soft wiener.